$1 billion. It has to be there. That's our number, $1 billion, straight out of the gate. And you don't even have to give it to me all up front. Give us $100 million over 10 years. LaVar then took it a step further by saying he could beat Michael Jordan. Back in my heyday, I would kill Michael Jordan one-on-one. I would just back Jordan in and lift him off the ground and call a foul every time he fouls me. When I do a jump hook to the right or the left, he cannot stop me one-on-one. He better make every shot because he can't go around me. He's not fast enough, and he can only make so many shots outside before I make every bucket under the rim. Skip, has LaVar gone too far with these comments?
No, he has not. I realize people are being shook up by LaVar Ball. I'm sure most people are saying he's just out of control, outrageous, just being outrageous for attention's sake. No father can act this way with kids who are so talented. But I told you after we had him in here, I was won over, and I continue to be. I like the way he's going for this reason and only this reason. You remember the classic rise and fall of one Todd Marinovich?
Yep.
The kid who was driven into failure by his father. Played at USC and then a little bit of pro football for the Raiders. And that was all about negative reinforcement from the start. Why did you do that? What were you thinking when you threw that interception? You've got to work harder. You've got to work. It was all negative, negative, negative until the kid finally rebelled and said, I am out. And when he went out, he went way out, right?
Yep.
This is all purely positive reinforcement. And I must admit, I wish I'd had this man as my father because I didn't have any of this. And I envy those kids because the first kid who's now playing at UCLA, and I picked him to win the championship, he seems like a pretty good kid. In fact, I don't know him, but he's from a distance, he seems like a really good kid.
Yes.
And is he a selfish gunner on the basketball court?
No.
Nope. He makes his teammates better than anybody in college basketball, makes their teammates better. So I like the way he talks on camera. He seems like he's got high character. I hear nothing but the best from Steve Alford about him, and I have a lot of respect for Steve Alford, covered him when he was a player. And in this case, he is pushing his kids to dare to be great. It's all positive. Yes. And do I think he could beat Michael Jordan one? It's laughable to me, but it's LaVar. He's told us he grew up in South Central, and if you don't talk trash on the basketball courts of South Central, you do not survive. So he's got that in him, but it's playful to me. And this was not like father, like son. This was like son, like father. So father thinks he has to set an example. And when he's asked about MJ, he's saying, sure, I could beat him one-on-one because he wants his kids to think that they're already better than Steph Curry, to think that they have a chance to be better than the greatest player ever, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And I'm good with that because it seems to be working in his household because all three kids are really good. And now we get to the shoe deal. The more I thought about this, if in fact he winds up with, let's say, two of the three become NBA stars to the point of being superstars. It's possible.
Yeah.
Especially the first one and the last one. They look like they got superstar potential to me. Well, let's look over the next 6 to 8 years. Would a $1 billion shoe deal for two NBA superstars be out of the question? I think not. I think he's shattering the mold because he's saying, well, wait a second. My kids are going to be really good. Maybe the middle one will be a starter in the NBA. What if he had a starter and two stars in the NBA? You don't think a three-way shoe deal for $1 billion would be worth it to a shoe company? I think it would. I'm sorry. I think he is breaking new ground. And I don't have a problem with it because it doesn't seem to be bothering his kids whatsoever.
No.
They seem to be thriving in this environment. And again, in the end, I envy them.
Joy, what am I really supposed to do with this? Because he, as you mentioned, Skip, he was on last week, and I took a liking to him. And when he said his son was better than Steph, or his son's going to be better, is better than Jason Kidd, we will get an opportunity to see that because Lonzo is going to play in the NBA. In 20 years from now, we can see who had the better career: Steph Curry, Jason Kidd, or Lonzo Ball.
Okay.
Now, this hypothetical about him with Jordan, I hate doing hypotheticals. Who would beat one-on-one? Kareem or Shaq? Who would beat one-on-one in their prime? Kobe or Michael? There's really no way to definitively say that, but okay. Hey, for the sake of argument, we'll argue that. I don't believe he can beat Michael Jordan. I don't believe he can beat Michael one-on-one. you would almost have to kill Michael. You would literally have to
I think you would have to, actually.
You would literally have to make all your shots
I
to
agree.
beat him.
Yeah. Now, he's talking about unreffed one-on-one, just the two of them. So he's saying I'd call a foul every time. Well, that's not real
Yeah,
fair,
exactly.
right? Well, come on.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. But Skip.
And by the way, if you didn't get a sense on camera, LaVar is a big man
he is.
now. And he was an enforcer type when he played. I think he's 6'7"-ish, maybe 270.
I would have never thought. When I'm looking at him, I'm not thinking basketball player. I'm thinking football.
Well,
he's solid.
He talked about they had him at Washington State go try out for Dennis Erickson's team as a tight end. Dennis couldn't remember it, but he said he tried out. He just didn't want to block anybody, but he could catch.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could. But again.
And you said you had to have a little screw loose to play that game.
Well, that's right. He just didn't want to do that.
You do. But Skip, $1 billion. One guy has $1 billion deal now. He the logo. He the jump man. Think about this, Skip.
Oh, I think LeBron's on his way.
He's just signed a lifetime deal, but that's after 4 league MVPs,
I got it.
6 fight.
I got it.
Let's think about this. Let's put this in context. Tiger Woods, Nike built their entire golf brand, shoes, golf club, apparel around Tiger Woods. They didn't give him $100 million a year. Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, they are the two of the most famous footballers. All our soccer fans out there, I'm not going to say soccer. Footballers. They make in salary and endorsements because soccer, football, is the universal. They play it in Africa. They play it in Western and Eastern Europe. They play it in Asia. They play it all over the world. He makes $88 million in contract money from Real Madrid and a salary. Lionel Messi for FC Barcelona. He makes $81 million in salary and endorsements. So you trying to tell me one sponsor, not all of them. LeBron is third on that list with 77.2. I hate counting in man pockets, but it was in Forbes magazine. They can look it up. And you know how many endorsements. LeBron has Beats. He has Kia. He has Samsung. He has Blades. He has all this stuff, Skip. He doesn't get $100 million a year.